Dumela Chava South Africa, let's Chava South Africa, Gabo Para. My name is Vich. This is Give It to Azania Kasi podcast. Today I've got a young activist. How are you, my brother?
Well, I'm good, thanks in a way.
Can you just introduce yourself? Because just introduce yourself so then I will have a follow-up question immediately.
Yeah, I got a lot of credentials.
Yeah.
But, relevantly, I'm MORORE SEKHUKHUNE. I'm doing political studies this side.
Yeah.
So, personally, I'm an artist to say. But I find myself also espoused to politics.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an activist rather than a politician.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, then do you come from SEKHUKHUNE? What's happening?
I see. No, I stay at Liwaho myself. Yeah, SEKHUKHUNE is paternal side of origin. But I was born in Liwaho and I was raised in Liwaho. Went to Dr. Dixon Patlele Primary School. And my crèche, I started there at El Shaddai. Then I went to the Derikobe Technical High School. Yeah.
Yeah, that means you'll snob.
No. I'm actually... no, not a snob. I'm born of poverty. Yeah.
Yeah, but when you are speaking about the names and what we hear about Sir James and what Johnson and what.
I know what Dr. Dixon Mpatlele. Very Wagakobe.
Oh, there's nothing fancy.
Nothing fancy. Scholars get college am vacationing.
Yeah. I thought because every time when I saw you engaging in programs here at the University of Limpopo, I said, hey, this guy is smart. He's genius, this guy. Are you reading or is just the knowledge that you were born with, man? You are articulative. You have informed information, man.
I think it's reading together with constant engagement with other people, with the kind of information you have. You know, information is not always relevant.
Sure.
There's time where certain information won't be relevant to particular engagement. So when you read a particular book and you engage particular people relevant to the context of the book that you've read, you constantly engage your thinking capacity and your reasoning capacity outside just copying that information or knowledge you've read in the book and storing it to your brain. But when you engage, you also learn the interpretation of that information, and then how does that information advance you as an individual.
Which course are you pushing?
I'm pushing political studies.
Oh, you said it.
Said it.
What has inspired you to study politics?
So let me
because some of us when we came here we didn't have a space in other courses, and then we said
So myself, as I've mentioned in the introduction, that I'm an artist. I'm an actor and a storyteller. So growing up from grade 2 there, I was storytelling. I was introduced to theater acting. I was doing a lot of acting. I was introduced to radio. I was a radio reporter, producer, researcher, and presenter of Radio Workshop.
Sure.
So I was an artist, but my eagerness in politics was sparked by a man called Mr. Ramud. He was a teacher, he was an English teacher. And in grade 11, there's a book called Sophiatown.
Yeah, sure.
So while that man was teaching that book, he would go outside the book and give relevant examples of the contemporary to say, no, my kids, you see in the school, this is what is happening. In the society, this is what's happening. Look at the issue of water. These people are involved. How? So he was making those explanations and trying to make sense of what does the book speak to. So when he was doing that, I was seduced to want to understand, where does this man get such information and knowledge about even individuals who say, no, this individual is the one responsible to delivering 1, 2, 3, but he's not doing that. So I was constantly interested in what is this man saying, what is politics, what does politics mean. And at that time there was EFF at the peak. In Parliament there was Buisen Close. When I got home, I found my grandma watching Parliament, and when I sit down there listening to their engagements in Parliament. Then I just became interested. And then I joined COSAS. I was recruited into COSAS. Then that's when I've started my tangible, practical activism. I've went to school dealing with issues. Then my love for politics, and why did I end up studying politics here? In grade 12, there was a trip to UL, like where they do
the expo.
Yes.
Or exhibition.
Exhibition.
Sure.
And even that trip, I didn't have money, but somehow I had some short money, then Banklaja. Then we came here. When we were doing the tour, that side, I came across this pamphlet and I was reading, okay, then political science, political studies, okay, this political, African, I've read there, then I went home, I did my research. What is political studies? How is it different to law? Because at some stage I wanted to do law, and it explained how is political studies of UL different from political studies of other institutions, and I've learned, this side it speaks of Afrocentricity. These other institutions really are more Eurocentric in the content and curriculum. And that's why I chose UL. Initially, before, I wanted to be a chemical engineer. I changed subjects. I went to technical studies. I was like...
the aim was just to finish matric.
The aim was just to finish matric. Then I realized my matric that no, this thing called political studies. But I knew that even if I don't emerge academically, so I have talent in art, so I can always push that space, because I even have a company of art, MORORE Cinemas. It does filming, has great relationships with some established companies like Titanic Talent House. So yeah, I always knew that even if I don't emerge academically, I would use this channel. That's how I found myself studying political studies here.
Sure. So now, because you are saying you were in COSAS and everything, are you still in COSAS? Because Ogara, I saw you in the conference recently.
Yes, I'm still in COSAS. I'm currently the PCPTT provincial spokesperson of COSAS
in Limpopo.
I think they are about to disband us very soon. I hope to be reappointed, because I still have this idea of trying to actually advance COSAS in the province, and we have a lot of issues in the province that learners face. And I even though constitutionally in COSAS they say you can be there until 24 years, sometimes I feel I'm a bit old for the politics of COSAS, but we can't live there without actually implementing some of these ideas. That maybe because we didn't have the capacity to, but even the generational mix, it's important, because now I saw the spokesperson Ugar is age 11 or 14. Yeah, it's very young. I think it's 2010.
Yeah, that means it's 14 years.
Yeah.
So you see, and then who's going to guide him? The basic politics, of course, as he must consume them from you guys. So, but since you were in student politics, do you still think that our curriculum it's relevant to our market?
Well, the question of curriculum is very much tricky and sensitive to a lot of people. But I think we're not holistic in trying to approach the issue of curriculum. I've heard and listened to a lot of conversations about curriculum. Most people say the curriculum is not working. We want to change it and do away with this curriculum. My chat is, I think the curriculum is working, and especially working to respond to the current market. So if not, we wouldn't have likes of Professor Mokgalong, likes of all these individuals who have emerged successfully from the very same curriculum. So there are many people who went through the curriculum today are doing well. Some are doctors, some are nurses.
Yeah, but they are not majority, my man. They are not majority, because if you can check, how many people are they dropping from high school? And then from, maybe if you check statistics, someone who registered greater, majority of them, they don't reach matric. And then some of them, they don't produce the result. You know, we have age, diploma, bachelor and whatnot. So the quality there is it's something else.
So my analysis is that it's part of the bigger agenda of the curriculum. So in the curriculum, there's that what we are provided with, tangible, the information, then there's hidden curriculum.
Sure.
So the hidden curriculum will tell you that this curriculum is constructed in a way that will respond effectively to the market. And if anything, it does not respond to the market, it will be changed. So how does it respond to the market? First of all, it's a way of filtering people who must serve the market. So if anything, your brain is not constructed in a way that, or your brain doesn't adapt to how the system is modeled for you to serve the market, it will kick you out. There's grade 12 where now you get filtered properly. So filtering with grade 12, now you go to another stage of the very same curriculum that they respond to the market. And if you don't comply with these things, you get filtered out. You go to varsity. If you don't comply, you get filtered out. So this is how the curriculum is constructed to respond to the market, to filter people out, also to create sufficient surplus of individuals in order for those individuals to work according to the conditions of the market. So my chat is, it does work. It responds properly to the market. Whatever profession you want to, as long as you comply, you'll get absorbed.
What about those who will debate and say the issue of 30% in high school and then 50% at tertiary, and then also touch on the issue of because we are still paying school fees, even if it's not direct, but you will buy type packs, cartridges and everything like that. Maybe just touch on these two issues and then we move on.
The first question was
30% and 50% issue.
Right. So as I'm saying that this is part of the hidden curriculum. If you emerge with 30%, you don't fully comply with the selection and placement of this system. It selects you from that process and place you to play a particular role in society. So if you meet the standards by 30%, it means that you'll be selected and placed in the bare minimum of the roles that you should play in society. So that's why it's first preference is those with high marks, then they get placed into bigger societal roles, careers, to say maybe they become your doctors, they become your scientists, your engineers and what. Then there are those who average from 60, 70, they come and become your teachers, your nurses, your lawyers, then there's those ones who are in the 30s, then they have to do the physical work. So that's how it is played. It's criteria of selection and placement into society, and it uses that particular criteria to filter individuals. Right? So you can't pass with 30 and expect to be a doctor. And if you pass with 30, then that's how the market will know, no, this person should be placed here.
Because you didn't touch the issue of type X, right, but you will touch it. Because if you can check now, you know, someone back in the days, 2018, 2017, there was this student movement called Progressive Student Movement. I don't know if either you know. They said they want two-phased curriculum. They want to do technical skills and then one for theory, you know. Because in different countries, China and India, a child who is in grade 8 and 9, he can assemble and disassemble is it assemble and unassemble? I don't know. Yeah, but it's okay. Yeah, it's English. And then aga tlhatlhamolla phone aba e bushetša and then no more aga a laptop, I clean everything, a smaller motor vehicle and something like that. So why not us? Because if you can check, some of us we might have passed matric and everything like that. We did a little much better, but the reality of the matter is that beyond that, we cannot do anything to assist the economy. But
the question is, how does it contribute effectively to the economy? How will someone who knows about phones contribute effectively to the South African economy if we don't have a phone?
Yeah.
But with China, because they're producing cell phone, it contributes effectively to the economy of China.
Sure.
Here you must learn to become a nurse, you must learn to become a teacher, you must learn to become a lawyer, you must learn to become an engineer, because those are some of the aspects that contribute. You must go to the mine. That's what contributes effectively to the economy. You must go to the farms. You must go to government. So how then do that curriculum will contribute to the economy? So the chat is, if we force such kind of ideas into saying we need to face curriculum, we'll have a problem of having people who will graduate from that curriculum and don't have a place in the economy, because somehow the economy and the market will find them useless, because it don't absorb them and it don't use them. How would I use someone with those skills of cell phones if the economy doesn't produce cell phones?
So you are saying, in terms of industrialization, we are not doing well, because even the toothpick we import, plastic chairs, everything.
If we had those industries here, those kind of curriculum will be relevant, because it will be responding to that particular industry of saying that we need people who will produce cell phones. Let's call it that cell phone MORORE. And it's a cell phone of South Africa, and we need people to constantly produce the cell phone, because it's doing well continent wise and even in the world. So like if as you said, we take a lot of things that we produce and we actually take out, but if we produced and took out some of the things, would have really needed some those kind of things. It's hard to compare the curriculum of South Africa to China, because the markets are different. Yes, and that is the mistake we're doing. Say, no, China curriculum is 1, 2, 3, but we forget to speak to the market. If we introduce the very same curriculum, which market would it respond to?
No, you're correct, because I know even China, it doesn't concentrate much on mining qualifications and everything, like, because they don't mind there. So do you think that we are having youth that is interested in politics, and then if not, what makes them to not be interested in politics? Because politics also shape their lives, you know.
I think it's the reason how we redefine politics to be. Politics is simply the art of decision making, and if you have the necessary skills and capacity to constructively engage in topics that will further make sure that the society gets developed, you are a relevant person in politics. But we made a mistake of making politics, let's say, individuals who are in politics because of political consumerism, because of personal individual interests. Then we think those people are in politics. Because someone can speak the loudest and insult people, we think that person should be in politics. Because a person can fight. When he say, no, if you don't bring us food, we'll murder you, and we think that person is a politician. That is the mistake we made. Politics need people who are dialectical, need people who are demure and calm and collected, and would be able to engage issues in a more, learned and holistic perspective, without being influenced by petty, useless something. Because I love you, I will fight for you, even if you are wrong. Those are the mistake we did. If we don't redefine politics from that particular perspective, then that's why we'll find most people avoiding politics even further. Because even our parents, when my parents learned that I'm engaged in politics, the first thing they were saying, you'll die.
Yeah, even my mom.
You'll die, and a very brutal death, because you talk too much. I was like, ma, I'm just interested. But if politics were that, this person has the art of actually making a constructive engagement to this particular decision that will develop the society, we would have seen more people engage in politics. Because even if you go to high schools, there are many kids who I happen to be a chairperson of debate in the University of Limpopo Debating Society, and we engage directly with the debate community in Limpopo. When you go to this high school, you find kids who will debate topics that would be like, where did this kid get such information? And you in debate, when you give you a topic, we give you 15 minutes prep time. You don't need your cell phone. You only need your dictionary or your case book, where you can make reference quickly. But that kid will debate thoroughly and be like, wow, this is wonderful. But that kid is not in politics. And we will actually need such person in politics to actually have a critical engagement on such critical topics. But that's why I think that is the reason why young people are getting further and further from politics, because of how we redefined politics.
Do you see us winning against unemployment? How best can we defeat unemployment in the country?
So my chat with unemployment is that we can win unemployment, but if we change the model of the market and economy of South Africa, right? So how South Africa is a liberal state. Actually, it's a neoliberal state where the economy is in the hands of few individuals. Over everything, they prioritize their profits because we live in a world where we compete. I'm the richest person.
Yeah, I'm the first black person
to make billions. My company made 500 billion turnover.
Yeah.
But in that 500 billion turnover, let's say, I forget the relevant terms they use in accounting, where now your company has used your money to pay all your liabilities, and your company made 2 billion. After you paid everything, SARS has deducted. It means somehow you robbed people to make such money.
Yeah.
Why didn't you just pay this person 5,000, or you include more people to work and give these people money? So it's either someone is working hard and covering a 5-man's job, him alone, and paid bare minimum, or it's either this person is just not paying these people properly just to compete in that scale that my company made this much after disaster. So how do we solve?
But because the thing, commission in business, it can be more than 100%. Like,
people are doing that. People are making a lot of money.
They just spend 500,000 on the project and then have more than 2 million
and take everything. So that is also the problem. But if we try to remove ourselves from that position and actually include people in this whole project, then we'll solve unemployment. How then do we remove ourselves from that? In our nature as humans, we are competitive, right?
Sure.
I'll always want to emerge better than you, even if we're friends, but somehow there's that element.
Sure.
My view is that the state need to be the supreme capitalist state and actually take and control all means of production that contribute significantly to the economy. It means it should take the mining, should take the banks, and prioritize industrialization, because with industrialization we'll be able to solve a lot of unemployment. We'll be able to build these factories, we produce these things, and that profits, things won't be expensive.
True.
People will get paid.
Sure.
That profits again will be reinvested again into the state to further make and integrate that money and make further developments in society. So the things are expensive because someone wants to compete in that scale that I made this much of money. Things are expensive because it's a constant competition of who makes a lot of money over everyone. People are exploited as a result. But if the state now becomes, let's say the state owns a ShopRite called MORORE, then this ShopRite, obviously the farms that will contribute to the foods, MORORE, they are farmed locally farmed. These workers, the packaging, the manufacturing of everything is local. So there won't be priority of profits there. Yes, people will be taxed. Obviously the money again will be used to make sure that society goes on, but profits won't be priority. But the profits that will be made out of this business will be again reinvested. Then that way we'll solve unemployment, life will be easier, things won't be expensive, and the economy of South Africa will grow. Because
when I forgot to ask this question when we were speaking about the curriculum of, have you had a time to check on the BILA Bill?
Yeah. You
did?
Yeah.
What is it all about, my man? Because I hear the race issue, the balancing, the color, and they're speaking about lots of things.
So I think the BELA Bill, is it basic education, is BELA, basic education laws amendment bill.
Yeah.
So I've had a chance to engage in some program. I think it was hosted in, what is this hotel next to, not hotel, conference center next to Mall of the North?
I don't know.
Yeah, there's that place there, I forget the name. Yeah. I was part of the delegation of COSAS to actually engage the bill. The bill, I think it's fine. It actually responds to some of the challenges that were faced by unprivileged African individuals and trying to solve some of these issues like attendance in school, when is the proper time to start schooling, what are the requirements that parent should, what are things that the parent should be held accountable and the school should be accountable to make sure that the learner gets fine. They were addressing some of the SGB things, language policy. They were addressing some of the teachers conducting business and just making further regulations to the education.
It's better than SASA.
South Africans. No, I think the bill also. The bill was to rectify some of the
errors in SASA. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that is the bill. I think it's good.
It
Most
also
people
touches the bullying part.
It touches that. It touches a lot of aspects. I think the people who are against the bill, I've seen on social media, are mostly white people.
Yeah.
Even in that conference, the people who are against the bill were white people.
Yeah.
Why? The bill tells you that the language of policy of the school will be determined by the society. A school can be placed in a society where majority of the people in that society, let's say 70% are Pedi, but you find the school being an Afrikaner school.
Yeah.
So that is what was happening. Most people, SGB people, were against that. And also, the bill was also taking some powers from SGB and giving them to the director in the education to say no. Sometimes before you take decisions, you might get approval from the director. I think those also was addressing the issues of stealing, because this SGB people, they steal
too much.
So if there's a person whom you have to account to, and it's not the parents or the learners which you can easily lie to, then it would be hard to actually steal.
Because even SASA Act says the person who can duly be elected for being SGB, he must have his kids or kids to be in that school. I didn't find the logic behind that. Did they touch on it?
No, I think it's logical, because how do you expect to be SGB of a particular school if your kids is not in that?
But okay, let's have this thing like this. Now you are just young like this. You have good vision about schools. Where you schooled, you know, when I was still there, we had 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But because now I've advanced in life, I see, I have different view, and then now this is what we could have done. So now I want to be part of that. And then, mind you don't have a child in that high school yet. So your visions and your capacities must be limited to that. You are not only dealing with the issues, and then even these people who are parents there, they are old people, and then you can't say our future must rely on those people.
Okay, let me answer this one actually, the SGP, a school governing body, is divided into various components: the learner component, the parent component, the principal as the ex officio, the staff component, like the cleaners, and so
security guard.
Yes. In which component would you want to belong to? Due to the parent component, you're not the parent. You just have the responsibility to say that the people who are electing people in those positions, we must say they must understand what they are doing. They must just not, because a parent would very all-star would go meeting, then they think that parent is there. So that was part of the engagements I had. I think it was clause 5 of the bill, or clause 4, where it stated, where I was engaging, that there must be a prerequisite into whom gets elected into SGB. At least you must look at qualifications. You can't just be a nobody who becomes the chairperson of SGB. And we know how principals operate. They operate effectively. If you are the chairperson of SGB and treasurer here, I think your things will run properly. You find, hey, this principal is even driving a very big car. So that was part of the engagement. There must be a prerequisite. It's understandable, because this governing body, it includes components of parents. There's no way you'd want to engage in a school on what capacity, because you are not a parent. It's understandable that we might have people who are innovative, but just for the fact of that they are not parents, they can't contribute. But we have siblings. I think arguably we can go to school because we have that particular sibling and engage in the school. Yeah,
because when I was speaking about bullying, I also had this thing. You know, recently we had a young daughter in Hammanskraal who her body was found in a cave or in a river, just because he left with the Viano people and whatnot. So just touch on it, and then also touch on the broader context of gender-based violence, because I'm having a view. You know, sometimes our society is wrong. They will say, the man that killed that daughter didn't have a right to kill. It's true, we don't condone that. But they don't tell these kids that, this entitlement and the standard that you put, or a man must do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You know what happens? Let's say now you are at Dijon or at Shipping. You engage with some daughter, you agree, and then you all think that you must go and pursue the conjugal rights together. And then in the morning, that person says, that bottle of Hennessy was not enough. Because at that time yesterday, she thought maybe the Hennessy is enough. In the morning, he says, you must give me 80,000 or I will go and open a case. So these men also, they find themselves caught between killing this person or letting this person live, because I don't have 80,000 myself.
I would say that I would advise our young girls, I have younger sisters, avoid that, man. What is the use? Myself, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't party. And my advice to them is you avoid a lot of things. You avoid to find yourself in those situations. Just focus on your school. Focus, read your books, study. There are a lot of extracurricular activities that you can join into. Join debates, join choirs, join cultural activities, find entertainment in those things.
I'm at 2000.
So I think it's wrong. We need to move away from that kind of tendency. And develop yourself to be a powerful person. Make money. If you want to drink alcohol and you want to party, have your own piano. Go to the pub, drink your own things, and leave. And
also smaller budget of your own without depending on anyone.
So that is my advice to them. Try by all means to avoid that, because there are a lot of opportunities for women now. The social readdressing of gender inequality and GBV and stuff put women in a position where now they have access to a lot of opportunities. When you go to Department of Agriculture, they will tell you, if you are a woman and you have a small place, you want to farm chicken or you want to do what, come. For the mere fact that you're a woman, those opportunities are made easily accessible to. Even if you don't meet the requirements, they'll make sure that they give you a training for you to meet that requirement over that person. So they must just avoid the streets and try to develop themselves to be better people in society. There's money. There's money. As long as you've got the skills, the money will come to you. Stop going to those men there. I mean, how do you think of a man, if you are a high school learner, a man who's 30, 40 years old, having sexual attraction to you? Something is wrong with that particular person. And if you, as a girl, you see that person having sexual interest into you and thinking that somehow you are wrong, my sister. That person is crazy and is mad. And if you fall for that trap, you must know you are getting yourself into deep trouble. So avoid those things. Go to school. If you want to entertainment, join netball, join soccer, join sports. You'll find entertainment there.
Do you see us achieving the objectives of National Democratic Revolution? Because I think the ANC government is shifting from the MORORE resolutions.
I'm in Kosas. I somehow I shouldn't find myself contradicting some of the ANC stands and somehow. But what I can say is that ANC even from the start, it told you, Tina, leave us out of those things of black consciousness, leave us out of those things of socialism. Tina, we're a liberal organization. They've said it. That's why PAC, PAC, that's why SACP, that's why Chris Hani and all those. They've mentioned long before, we're a liberal organization. So if anything, we can't expect ANC to achieve socialism in its lifetime when it mentioned from the start. Even now, it still tells you we're a liberal organization. So my problem with these radical leftist organizations which are promoting actually socialism and stuff is that South Africa is in a state where I advocate for that we must take our land back. I advocate that we must own our banks. I advocate that the state must own Shoprite, they must own Sasol, they must own all these societal companies and organizations that might contribute and make sure that the livelihood of people continues every day. Not to say we must take them from them. I'm not saying we must, South Africa must take Sasol, must take ShopRite. They must build alternatives. They must start their own ShopRite. They must start their own Sasol. They must start their own bank, maybe MORORE. Then all the employees of the government must be paid through that bank, must be given the 50% of
the interest. It must be lower.
The sale, to the sale, and make sure that these people get in love with.
Even like the loan into business, they must have a lower interest rate.
Straight. They must try to make them cheaper, and these people will fall in this love. They must be built countrywide. Because I'm South African and I'm unprivileged. I can go that shop kareka lofa boroto ka 7 rand. I can go to that shop kareka sepesa utlapaka 6 rand or something. So in that way, then we'll be slowly achieving socialism. Because if we radically try to implement policies of socialism, we take ShopRite, we take the mine, we'll have a problem where there will be economic collapse. Why am I scared of that? Some of us are from unprivileged backgrounds. Already we are suffering. Imagine now there's a economic collapse. Lofu enela re reganga 20 rand now, we have to buy it ka 70 rand because of economically we're not doing well. So meaning a lot of people will die of hunger.
That's the alternative is the solution.
So alternatively we can say, instead of taking everything, kamho socialism and kamho some other people are promoting and contextualize socialism. But I know we need to take everything, take. We must just build alternatives and let these people, neoliberal institutions, just die out. Then that way we'll achieve socialism without risking economic collapse and without risking people dying of poverty. Imagine we are surviving 1,000
350.
Now dilodia godimi, because even that person who's producing boroto bola will be bola. Somehow they are not survive. So diloditwa godimi kudu batu like it.
But do you still think, because let's leave the NDR, let's speak about black consciousness. Do you see us achieving what Steve Biko have imagined or have wished for us to live like?
Not personally, I have a problem with black consciousness.
I thought you are pro.
I'm pro, but I'm an extremist in that context.
Oh, sure.
I believe the way we put limitations to black consciousness is what led to the problems we have today of society, right? I'm of a view that Lamatomo terminology of the concept black. Who's black?
Sure.
I'm against that we must be called black. I'm saying we are Africans. Yes, it might be argued who came with the concept of Africa. But for the mere fact, we must acknowledge ourselves as the original native belongers of this land, not of the skin color, because the construction of the word black was to refer people who are subordinate, who are supposed to be patronized, individuals who didn't have any value.
Slaves and
If we develop an ideology out of that particular kind of identification, meaning itself the ideology subjected to that particular condensation of blackness. So I'm saying that we should have been extreme in a manner that those people at that time, if anything, I'm young, but those people at that time, they should have advocated for separatism. Separatism in a sense that the white people who are living in this country, before anything, they must acknowledge that they are settlers. And
the
black
visitors.
consciousness, even Biko had love for white people. His departure from NUSAS to form SASO, he still maintained a relationship with white people. He feared them, not because he made a choice, but because the system subjected him to that. He needed to fear white people. He needed to maintain relationships with white people for survival and to make sure family. But I'm saying that We should have had someone like this comrade Robert Sobukwe.
Yeah.
We needed those people to come up with the concept of, let's say, African consciousness in this sense, and advocate for separatism in a sense that this is our land. Before anything, this is our land. So that is the problem I have with Black consciousness. Black consciousness promoted a more of liberalism, to say, yes, we want to eat with you in this table, we want to be treated the same, but you want to be treated the same by who? In whose land?
Ooh.
Yes. So that is.
So we still depend on white people.
Even now, the Black consciousness still says, yes, Black love, self-love, but self-love to be in the table, and to be acknowledged in the table, someone needs to acknowledge us who.
That means it's a white person.
That means it's a white person. So Black consciousness says, somehow, when I've been reading I Write What I Like by
Biko.
I still have the book that's side in my room. When I was reading the book and listening to this man, I somehow thought, no, this man is still attached to his love to white people.
Yeah.
In a sense that he didn't advocate for a complete removal of this white stain.
Yeah.
You mentioned it.
Yeah.
A black stain, white stain in this sense, in this society. But he wanted coexistence. But coexistence then was not going to be successful, because indeed we're living in coexistence, but we're still subjected to some of the instrumental systematic things that are subjected to black individuals. Visibly, South Africa, it being a neoliberal state. So that is the problem I have with black consciousness. I'm saying that we need to redefine the concept to say, I'm afraid, but African consciousness or Azanian consciousness, I know there's arguments to the origin of those terms, but something that identifies with the land, consciousness, and we push that over everything. Whoever who is suppressing us, they must understand that they are settlers here and we are owners of this land. And our relationship must be maintained by that. You are a settler, I'm the owner.
Yeah, I'm the landlord.
I'm the landlord. You have a home, you are renting rooms, someone comes to your rooms, they overpower you, they suppress you. We say, no, we understand that, no, you reconstructed the rooms, they look more beautiful. No, we just want to share the profits with you. They take over. No.
Ish.
That was the problem.
And then it's too much.
Identification with skin, that with race, that already the race was subjected to inferiority over the identification of land, of which would have promoted superiority amongst African. I have a problem with referring to us as black.
Because even if you can hear Biko says he spoke too much about inferiority complex, but he didn't say you must do anything against white people. Yeah, but anyway, it's okay. I hear you saying.
And I don't blame him.
Yeah.
He was in a system where he was subjected
to
be like that.
Sure.
He was born in that system.
Yeah.
He was socialized in that system.
Yeah.
He grew. Remember, the formation of SAS was a result of that conference of NUSAS, where they were put in a separate place as black people and was inferior. I was like, Musimo, you find the realization out of that. That is the problem where I identify, number one, that if you find realization of self-love out of just that one conference, it means that person, this ideology was not rooted in him. It was a response to that
conference.
Yes. But all along you are abusing me. So I developed an idea that no, I'm black, I must love myself, and I need to exist with you properly. I'm saying no, you must go and it's vulgar, but you must go and
it's okay. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay, because you are in acting industry. In closing, what are your ambitions? Do you want to see yourself acting in big programs on TV?
You see,
or you just want a theater acting only?
No, I've done TV and theater. Recently, I was enrolled with this other institutions in Wiser Media Academy, where I was studying my acting. But the chat is, at this moment, I'm not sure which journey do I want to pursue. There's politics, which is very much promising. There's art, but I'm doing them simultaneously. Like recently, I was part of the play called Parcel of Death, by Dr. Professor Akinola,
yeah,
which
yeah, university
participated in the UL 65 years
of
Tiro. So I'm also happening to be in politics. So the career is growing. I have a company which also have a project that is undertaking, and it is screening in various film festivals. So I'll just let destiny decide for me. But over everything, maybe become a MEC of Sports Arts and Culture there, or Minister of Sports Arts and Culture, because I have an understanding of art and culture. Then I might have innovative ideas on how to develop this space. But overall, I must see myself in
but can you cry now?
Can I cry?
Yeah.
You want me to cry?
Yeah, if you are a good actor, you can do it.
I'm doing it.
Yeah? I want to see literally the tears and everything.
But crying is not just about the tears, my brother.
Sure. I was signing out, my fate. Goodbye, my fate.
You see the tears, they're coming.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah, but I just can't cry. I'm a political activist. Give me as weak.
No, thank you very much for coming, my brother. Thank you.
No, I think this initiative is proper now. We must have constant invite individuals to debate on concepts here, to try to expand understanding of things. But you're doing a very great job, my brother.
Well appreciated.
It's a very great job. Documenting these things are very much necessary.
You will reference this thing.
Yeah, it must be referenced to say you've been there.
No, internet is recording, man.
Thank you.
Thank you. Subscribe to the channel. Help us to grow, comrades. Thank you very much. Poop.